Hi guys, how are you today? I'm back and I'm actually smiling about something because I'm so excited. Now, when you think about a small little seed that you throw into the ground and then suddenly you start looking at it, and every day you look at it, it feels like it's just evolving and it's starting to grow. And through its growth, there's a little evolution. So you probably see a little tiny leaf, and then another 2 leaves, and then another 3 leaves, and then everything starts blossoming, and everything starts blossoming, and then it becomes this beautiful thing, and you're like, child, did I plant that seed myself, or do I say so myself? But anyway, this is what's happening. I've also just planted some seeds, and these seeds have come to fruition. The Phoenix Rising Lockdown series episode 1 is finally out. If you care, if you've been following my Phoenix Rising and you want to see what's happening and what's cooking and what's actually cooked in the pot, this is your opportunity to please log on to platform za.tv and check out what it is that I'm cooking. On the flip side, I want to give you a bit of a background for those of you who don't know what the Phoenix Rising is. Phoenix Rising is an amalgamation of fashion, music, food, wine, and art. It is a project that I set up initially to take on tour around the world, and then 2020, the year of cancellation, happened, and it was cancelled because the year was cancelled. So the idea of this was, a whole experience where you can be able to sort of stimulate all your senses at one go. I bring in the music element collaboratively with different musicians. The idea again of touring this and moving it around is to be able to get different influences through the music, through the musical journey as we move on, and give you a whole rainbow of music, which could be one thing but could be so many things just because of how diverse the musicians are, how we hear music differently, and how we release it differently. So I think that this is a very interesting element. The music element of Phoenix Rising is really the biggest part of it. The fashion element is also a big part of it. Then there's food, and then there's wine, there's art. The idea is to feature a chef every time we move around. And the idea is to also feature a contemporary artist wherever we move around. Everything flows around one theme. Now, this first episode is called DeniMania, and this is the lockdown series because where were we going? We were sitting in 2020, and I'm sure a lot of you had different phases within your lockdown. I had different phases as well. So the idea is to just me in my zone of lockdown. These are my highs and lows during lockdown. This is whatever you want to call it. But this was what I birthed, one of the seeds that I planted during the lockdown. And I did it in the garden. Unfortunately, you did not have the pleasure to come and join me and connect with me and experience this on a live element. We only had the garden and the grass and the leaves and the trees. I also remember during that time of lockdown, I only had, I think, 5 on this particular set. I think I had 5 or 6 people on the set, just because I wanted to adhere to the criteria around being safe within this new world and the new situation and the pandemic crisis. We had Kevin on the guitar, and Kevin also worked on the music production. And Kevin Litcher, for those of you who don't know, he's one of my closest music friends, and he's also produced my second album, KenSoul, The Lotus Chapter. And we've also performed live a lot and moved around a bit. It's really good music energy, beautiful music energy. So I really was appreciative for the fact that when I thought and said I couldn't have a live band, like a whole full live band, who could I have? And I thought Kevin. So we took this on a strip down. It's guitar only, but it's okay. Music is music. And I think that, even when you lighten it up, there is still music. Music is music. And like Quincy Jones says, there's only 2 types of music, good music and bad music. And I think I'm on the good side. So this is really an interesting music experience. I think you should definitely check this out. The fashion element, again, this whole Phoenix Rising is themed under DeniMania. So DeniMania is a representation of my denim collection, denim, which is denim, but then what I've done in this particular lockdown series is actually upcycled that denim so that we can move a notch higher. I think sustainability is really key. When you think about the fashion industry, second largest polluting industry in the world, and denim in itself and how polluting it is as well. We have to take care of our environment. This is where we live. This is our habitat, like I say. So why not do stuff, or why not push out stuff and just push them a notch further while still keeping that sort of conscience around how to be sustainable. You can be sustainable even as a fashion consumer. You can be sustainable as a fashion brand. We can be sustainable in so many ways. We can play a role. I've got an article around sustainability in fashion and what it means and how you can be. You should check that out on lizogumbo.com/blog just to educate you more on what sustainability means, what's happening to the environment, and what we can do to be able to save it. I've got makeup artist Zakia Bam, who was working on the face. I also have Sydney Davey also worked on my face. Just to come and bring that theme together, really hold it together. On the food, I said I wanted to minimize this production to like 5 or 6 people max. So I remotely prepared the cuisine from my kitchen. The wine is, I feature Lisa Ogumbo Wines. I also feature a beautiful Graham Beck. On the set, I had Zanzibarian artist Luia. And then we move on to the production in itself, which was beautifully handled by Kaurelo Sebata, who was my right-hand person, and this has been co-produced by herself and me. And I think for me, my biggest thing is when you look at talent and you see everybody playing within their spheres of influence so strongly, and even in the most crazy situations where you're so light and then you're so alone, and where we have to strip down, there is no budget. So it's like, how do you make this thing work with the little that you could find? So I think for me, I'm really appreciative of the fact that this is the team, really. There is no other team. We're out. The platform TV was gracious enough to allow me to roll with them, which is great. So thank you for that. And for everybody who appreciates my music, appreciates the fashion, appreciates my stories, this is me telling stories. When you really think about it, the docu element comes in where I want to talk about what I'm doing so that you can understand it with more depth. I'm very excited about the creative industry, the creative economy in Africa. My heart beats to the creative economy. My heartbeat is the creative economy in this continent. And my soul sings to it. And I really want to see us do amazing things. We've got amazing stories in this continent. We've got amazing content as well. And we've got everything that it takes to be able to share our stories far and wide. So this is my opportunity to share with you, to tell you something you maybe didn't know. Musically, I take you to different regions. Virtually, I take you to Colombia, I take you to Cuba, I take you to Jamaica, I take you to East Africa, and I take you to what I would consider the rest of the world, and Brazil. And I've done on this particular series episode, I've sort of pushed from the music selection. I really was thinking carefully about this set list, and I thought, I know that I generally perform a lot of my originals, but I wanted to big up some of my heroes within this space. I've got a lot of music inspiration from where I'm sitting right now, from where I am musically. And the idea is to celebrate those who I really look up to and those who I really appreciate musically, and those who have touched my music world in a way they may not know how. I can't do everything and I cannot sing everything that I feel like singing in one go, but this is going to be something that will hopefully touch your heart, will hopefully allow you to also immerse yourself into my soul and travel with my KenSoul into these different spaces. And I just think that for all of the creatives who are sitting, who are trying to figure out what to do next, how to do it, I hope that this could also inspire your creative journey so you can just start something. The virus is not over yet, and as we keep that in the back of our minds, especially from a creative economy perspective, how do you share your stories? We can't just wait, and we can't just sit indefinitely waiting for the next big concert. So I would also like to urge you who's in the creative economy, and even if you're not in the creative economy, the world is on the digital, so being able to expand your creative or your digital real estate is key. And if you already have a digital real estate, you can expand it. If you don't have it yet, or if you haven't really spent time on it and do a little change on it, because you know this is rent you're gonna have to pay on stuff, and then this is real, then you need to really definitely consider it. But the Phoenix Rising, guys, is out. I'm excited about it. Something that's put a smile onto my soul. And the episode, I'm going to release an episode every end of the month. This is the first episode. It's the Phoenix Rising Lockdown series. This is the DeniMania series. And I hope that you can share with me your thoughts. But first of all, log in there and enjoy this. Everything else you need to know about me is on lizogumbo.com. But please, I beg, if you know what's better for you, I have finished. Be safe.